There once was a girl who lived in a bubble. This particular little girl never imagined she'd move away from her hometown, never thought she'd venture outside of good old Beantown, never mind go abroad to another country. Prior to her journey, she lived in a comfort bubble, with no desire for it to be popped. She certainly had her share of seeing the world, grew up traveling and loved every second of it. She'd explored places from the Eiffel Tower to the Mayan ruins to beaches more breathtaking than you could imagine. But the one common factor that kept her steady and comfortable on each of these trips was plain and simple: her family. This particular little girl was me, Abigail Megan Sullivan, born and raised in Milton, Massachusetts, currently relocated to London, England. And this is my story of why I'm here, what I accomplished, and what I learned from it all. I applied to Northeastern University, partially because of the programs and opportunities, but honestly, mainly because it was so close to my family and friends. Going to college was going to be hard enough. I was not about to let distance be a factor. But a few weeks later, I was accepted into the NU In program, and everything changed. Out of nowhere, really, I decided to go through with it. I was going to live in London for the first 4 months of college. I got on the plane and hoped that everything would be okay, as I had no idea what I had just gotten myself into or how I was going to do it, and I honestly don't think anything sunk in until we touched down in London. Then it was all real. The first few weeks here, I spent time at the touristy sites and visited the usual attractions. I was in wonderment of the architecture in contrast to the vast parks and nature in such a big and bustling city. Throughout the beginning, though, I merely felt fine. Not particularly good or bad, but fine. I was going through the motions, still unsure of what I was really doing here. I was out of harmony, you could say. I still felt like a complete stranger in this big old city. And when I began my service learning at my original placement at Mudchute Park and Farm, it did not work out from the start. Plain and simple, there was no need for volunteer work at the organization. Because of this, I set out to find a placement that really needed me. I knew I could not spend 30 hours sitting back and watching things happen. I needed to initiate change. I needed to do something worthwhile with my time here, and I figured service learning was just the place to help me accomplish that. So after a few ups and downs, I got exactly what I had been looking for. I was placed at Living Well, an organization that educates teens about smart sex and relationship choices. And then, through a small and unexpected change, I found my groove. With Living Well, we set out to benefit the lives of the teen community in the London area. Our group worked on the street, passing out bracelets and information cards, educating teens about TextMate, a free text service for sex and relationship advice, and encouraging them to use the service to their benefit. We also worked in classrooms with students at St. Charles College in a Right Start program and listened to their individual input of what a solid relationship should and could be. We met students from all over and shared our stories as well as listening to theirs. We also worked with the community fundraising team to help promote World AIDS Day. We stuffed and addressed envelopes to send mail to thousands of schools. Each week working with Living Well, I felt a sense of true accomplishment. Not only had I contributed to helping teens to be more educated on making smart decisions, I had immersed myself that much deeper into the British culture, learning more and more with every passing hour, from our time on the street to our time in the classroom. I had previously been living and going through the motions as a citizen, but through studying abroad and working with the British community, I am now making my way to becoming a real-life global citizen, someone that opens their mind to other cultures and ways of life and explores the world, all the while stepping outside of their individual bubbles. And I've definitely reached outside my bubble, and have gone even further outside of my comfort zone. I thought I knew the world. I thought I could go my entire life remaining comfortable, but I had no idea. As Neil Donald Walsh once said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone, and I now know the pure truth to this statement. Now, I do not feel like a stranger to London any longer, and when I touch back down in Boston, I think what I just accomplished during these last 4 months not only in service learning, but during the biggest risk of my life, will truly sink in. And that will be a reward worthwhile.